All right, welcome back to Garoo's S&P $100 Challenge, Day 2. So for chart analysis, nothing has really changed. Yesterday was an inside bar. We're still in a strong uptrend above the all-time high set back in February. So still have a bullish bias going into the day, looking for longs. Of course, the real all-time high is up here now. And once we get a stronger pullback, I will move that level up to where it should be. But for now, we're just keeping it here for reference, and I've got the high up here marked as a daily swing high. So on the hourly chart, still have the same hourly demand down here, right under the all-time high. I got rid of the zone I had coming off of this candle here, just because we've already chewed through most of it. Added these hourly swing lows here as levels to pay attention to for longs, depending on the price action there. And then on the 5-minute chart, we've got this 5-minute supply up here and 5-minute demand down here, very similar to yesterday, and we're opening up right in between the two of them. So right off the bat here, we make an immediate move down to this hourly swing low. Then this bar makes a slightly lower low, and so this becomes the low bar here. So I would be looking for a close above that as a possible trigger to long on the retest. And that does happen here. But it happened so fast off the open, I was just too nervous to take that. A lot of times things can be really volatile in the first few minutes. It is a clean setup though, and it does play out, but I did not take that trade. As I was getting up here to the 5-minute supply, I was thinking about potentially going short if I was going to get a reverse of the situation that we just bounced off of, because that's exactly what happened yesterday. I was also nervous about that at the same time, just because of what I said about having such a strong bullish bias. Really, I should be patient for longs to get a continuation of the daily uptrend. And it didn't even give any signal at this block. It just went straight up through it. But then, when it took out yesterday's high and did that candle, that was such a strong downward reaction that I actually used that as a signal to go short. So I had this marked as the low of the high bar. Now technically that's not true, but when there's an engulfing candle like this, like really this is the high bar. But this level serves the same purpose, and it often is a good level for a retest. It does not work out here, but not because it's not technically the high bar. It didn't work out just because we are at the all-time high, and I decided to get bearish when I should have just been patient for longs, because we immediately get stopped out because my stop was right above that high. And so then at this point, I decided that I need to be patient and wait for longs, or I would still be open to taking a short if I did get another really strong signal for it. Something like taking out this high here with like a strong move upwards that gets immediately retraced and maybe leaves a really long wick up there for an inverse hammer. That could have been a signal. Or if we would put in some type of lower high, maybe take out this low here and then like a lower high, that would be a reason to get on board for shorts. None of that ends up happening here. We just keep holding above this level here, which is very bullish. The problem is, though, for me, we're right at the range high. So I get really nervous taking longs up here. You can see they all do sort of play out, though. A lot of times what I'm looking for is to consider whether something was successful or not, is I'm looking for a double of whatever the candle would be that I would enter on. So for this one here, it's kind of hard to see now with all the lines, but you can see this is a swing low right here. This one closed above. Then you get the retest. It doesn't get stopped out, and it does make a double off that candle. Same thing here. Swing low, close above, retest, there's your double. In the inverse, none of these are working out to the downside. We don't see all the candles yet, but it never comes, back down here for, so yes, swing high, close below, retest, doesn't come back. So the long trades are working out, the short trades are not. I eventually do decide to take a long here, but I was too nervous when we were under the daily swing high. I wanted to see some type of structure break up here. And here we get one. And so because we've now taken out this high here, I decided to go long on this candle using this entire down move here to define my risk. So I had my stop right under here. And this is not usually my style of trading. I am not a breakout trader. I'm much more comfortable catching reversals. Usually when that happens, I end up getting a candle double within 5 or 10 minutes. And if I've got two contracts on, the first contract pays for my risk, and then I let the second one try to run. And so this was a little excruciating for me, just because it didn't go anywhere right away. And then it starts coming back down. And so on this candle here, at one point, this is a red candle like under here. My stop's still down here, and I thought that it was going to come back and potentially stop me out. So I was already thinking ahead to if it then puts in a lower high underneath this yellow line here, I would potentially use that as a reason to get short, looking for some type of flush. As this is like going up here, a lot of people are putting their stops right under all these like swings. So sometimes you'll get a nice red candle just taking out all of those stops and potentially even a full retracement. But again, we are at the all-time high here. I shouldn't be expecting stuff like that, but I was, anticipating that potentially. But that obviously didn't happen. This was not a red candle. It immediately reversed, which gave me confidence again in my position that I had taken right about, this level here. And so at that point, I'm in profit, and I moved my stop from down here up to right below this swing low, figuring that it really should not breach that if it is going to be, bullish up here. And it never does. However, again, my trades usually are working out within 5 to 10 minutes. Now I've been in this for probably about an hour or so, and it's coming back down again. And so I think on this candle here, I got out for essentially break even. When I lost this trade back here, by the way, I lost $20. When I got out on this trade, slightly green, I made $2.50, just enough to cover the fees, basically, for opening and closing that trade. And at that point, I decided just to close the laptop and be done for the day. After losing the $20, it's a red day, but I'm still green on the week. If you remember from yesterday, I was up about a little over $30, and so now I'm up just under 10, which is disappointing. But a lot of times, the name of the game is just live to trade another day. If I had held on to that trade, it does just keep going up here. And you can see, here again, like that's like a level that I would have potentially marked. There's, the break, the retest, you never get stopped out. That trade works. This one right here doesn't. Like here was a break and a retest. If the stop was, too tight, this candle would have taken it out. Obviously, that happens sometimes. But for the most part, every single one of those little K-hold plays would have worked out. Here's another swing low, break above, retest. There it goes. Until the very, very end of the day, things do get a little bit wonky as the volatility increases. You can see here's another strong up move. Right here, if you're trying to chase at this point, you get the break. There's your retest of that candle, but that one does get stopped out. And so it's also disappointing having a bullish bias going into the day and having it be literally up only, and I still found a way to lose money. But trading is hard, and that's why we're doing these videos as a little bit of a journal. So I'm getting value out of this. I hope some of you guys too. And I'll see you again tomorrow.